people.
Hi.
Welcome to episode 86 of the Cherry Purls podcast. We are a mother and daughter knitting podcast.
She's got a claw caught.
Uh-oh.
Got it.
Coming to you every other week from outside New Orleans, Louisiana, and we are super happy that you're here with us today. We have an unusual guest. This is Cereza.
Say hi. Hi, everybody.
She's not the friendliest of our cats, so she doesn't make an appearance often, but she is the Cherry of the Cherry Purls podcast.
She was especially needy while we were gone, and she is still that way, so that's why she's visiting now.
So, we have recently come back from Super Summer Knit Together. We were going to film before we left, but it just...
Before we left
for SSK, it just didn't happen. So, this is going to be a mega episode, so we're going to do everything from our Denver trip and from the trip to SSK, so, buckle up, because there's going to be a lot of yarn coming at you.
I think what you do plan to do is put his timestamp. So,
yes.
When we talk about the Denver trip, Robin will start by putting the timestamp saying Denver trip. And then whenever we get to the SSK, she'll put a note saying SSK, just in case you're interested more in one than the other.
Yes. We haven't introduced ourselves, so I will do that real quick. I am Robin.
I am Mary.
You can find me as Teenybutton on Instagram and Ravelry, and you can buy my yarn at teenybuttonstudio.com.
And I am Snippin' Full on Ravelry, and on Instagram, I am Cherry Purls Mary.
And we have a podcast group on Ravelry. It is Cherry Purls Podcast. It'll be linked down below, and that is where you can find the show notes for this episode, as well as links to everything that we're going to talk about, including links to all of the beautiful yarns. So if you see something that you especially like, there's going to be an easy link for you to find it on Ravelry.
Sounds like a plan.
So, really quick, shop news. I will be having a trunk show. Teenybutton Studio will be having a trunk show at Fabs and More and the Whole Nine Yarns. That is a yarn store and fabric store in Vicksburg, Mississippi, and that is going to be on August 18th. So if that is something that you are interested in, I will be there in person. That is a Saturday, right?
It is a Saturday.
Yes. They're also going to be collecting donations for hats for charity. So that is something that you're interested in. If you have some hats to donate, please come on by and donate those.
I'll have to knit a couple.
You will? You don't already have a couple later?
I don't. I gave all my hats at SSK.
Oh, yeah. Well, you got some time. You got about a month.
Yeah, I've got to knit
3
hats.
weeks.
I'll knit hats for that, and then I've got to start knitting on my hats for kiddos.
Yeah. So that'll be a lot of fun if you're in the Gulf Coast area or in the Vicksburg area and don't feel like making a day trip. We will also be vending at the Fiber Fun and the SIP Fiber Festival. That is also in Vicksburg, Mississippi, and that's going to be September 21st and 22nd. So that's the next two events that you can find us at. Are you going to come to the trunk show, or is it just me?
It depends.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I was put in a boot today.
Yeah, there's been some medical, nothing.
No, I have Achilles tendonitis.
Yeah.
So I am now in a boot for the next 6 weeks. I can't drive, but I can ride in a car.
You can ride in a car. It's not that far. Vicksburg is 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I'm just not going to be as able to help you.
This is disgusting.
I know.
I'm say.
Yes, we best friends.
That is where you can find us, both online and in person. So I think we're ready for some knitting content.
Sounds good.
You got one finished object?
I've got 2 finished objects.
You want to go first?
Why does she keep giving me this look?
I don't know. She's not usually this social.
No. So before we left for SSK, I finished this pair of socks. These are my typical socks. I start off with a rounded toe, do a fish lips kiss heel, and before I do the fish lips kiss heel, I add in the mini gusset from Mina's Vanilla Sock Recipe. And then I knit till it looks good to me. And then I do a 1x1 rib and cast off. So this is in Knit Picks Felici, and the colorway is Spring Blooms.
And you did a slip stitch, huh?
Oh, yeah, I did. I was kind of getting, I love, love, love vanilla socks. They're like my jam if I'm going to do socks. But I was wanting to do something a little different, so this is a slip stitch. Basically what you do is as soon as you notice the color change, you start slipping every other stitch on that first round, and it just gives it a little more interest.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of a textural thing between the...
Yeah, it just makes it a little more interesting than straight stripes.
What are the heels?
Fish lips.
No, what's the yarn?
Oh, I'm so sorry. The yarn is Teenybutton Studio.
Oh, what is that?
Audubon Park.
Oh. Oh, you have a lot of that left. Okay, that's...
Yes, I do. And I forgot to put it in the show notes, so I'm glad you reminded me.
I was trying to think of what you have in this color.
Yes.
But that does make sense because you did the mitts. So, yeah.
I did fingerless mitts in that. So, that is my pair of socks that I finished before leaving to go to SSK.
I love Felici.
I do too, and I have quite a bit that I need to go through.
I do too. I have a lot of Felici.
All right.
So, I have a finished pair of socks too. And these are the ones that I was knitting whenever we went to our on our trip to Denver. I was a little butchered, but I knit them in Denver. I knit the entirety of the body of the sock, and all I had left were heels to cut in, and so I did that the day that we got back from SSK, and then yesterday I did one heel a day because I can only...
So the last 2 days.
Yeah. So
we got back on Sunday. Today is Tuesday.
Yeah. I cast on... Same recipe I always do for all my socks. I cast on 24, I increased to 68, and I just knit straight up the sock, and then I did a 2x2 cuff right there. And then usually I say I use the Kirby Werby tutorial to cut in afterthought heels, and then I use the Susan B. Anderson Smooth Operator sock pattern, but really I didn't this time. I just sort of like winged it from what I could remember. So, that's where I learned it. That's what I recommend if you would learn how to do it. I don't think this particular heel pattern actually is in the Smooth Operator pattern because I did some different decreases than I usually do, but I just...
You did the Robin version?
Yeah, whatever. It looks just as good, so...
You're happy with it?
I am very happy with it. The yarn is by Rockin' String Creations. I'm trying to see what base this is. Rockin' String Creations Super Sock, which I believe is for $75.25. That's usually what I buy, but it doesn't say. I think that's what it is.
If you want to know, it'll be linked in the show notes.
It will. And this is the Mountain Twilight colorway. So Erin does fantastic self-striping yarns.
Self-striping.
She was at SSK, and we got to see her in person again, which was really nice. She's a
we
very
met her
nice
last
person.
year at a retreat.
So this is actually, or was the only skein I had from her. Now I have some more, but I'm glad to use up some stash, thankfully, because I bought this last year.
Because it's not fully a year old yet. It's a year old into September.
No, I didn't buy it in September. I bought it leading up to.
That's right. So it is about a year old. I forgot.
So one of my goals for this year, because I noticed last year as I knit so many things out of my own yarn instead of working for my stash, and the stash kept growing and no yarn kept coming out. So I'm trying to knit with yarns that I've had for a while, but a while is kind of subjective. So this counts as a while for me. So I'm glad to have this, knit up into something beautiful and out of my stash. They fit great. I love this pattern. The Smooth Operator pattern is awesome, and I have another pair of socks.
They look good.
Thank you. So you go next.
Okay. So one of the things that I wanted to do this year, according to my Crafty Bingo, was knit some more of the knitted knockers to donate it to knittedknockers.org. So I knit one while I was at SSK. This is in Cascade Ultra Pima, which is one of the preferred yarns by Knitted Knockers. They don't accept donations in every kind of yarn. And I think I knit a size C cup. So, just a basic boob knitted knocker.
Yeah.
So.
And one thing that I always forget is you don't need to have two. Because a lot of people who have mastectomies don't have a double, they just have a single, so they only need one prosthetic. Mm-hmm. So, if you want to just knit one, somebody can use it.
They will take whatever donations they get.
Because I always forget, I'm like, how is that a finished object if you don't have two? But then I'm like, oh, you don't need two.
All you need is one for a finished object.
Yeah.
It's not like socks.
And the pattern that
Although boobs come in twos, knitted knockers don't.
Yeah.
Necessarily.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Sorry.
Pattern is linked. But if you do want to knit, are we going to do, we haven't discussed this yet, but...
we will probably do our regular knit along. Is that what you were going to ask about?
Yeah.
We do one in February because...
October.
I am a breast cancer survivor. We usually do some sort of cancer-related knit along in October, but it will be for any cancer you want to do. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's a great project to do if you're thinking about participating in that down the road.
That's what I was thinking. That's where my brain went, and you followed, so that's good. So I actually have one more FO, but I don't have it with me. I did finish my Tegna by Caitlin Hunter out of my Breezy sock, Breezy Fingering 50/50 wool cotton, and I do not have it because it is currently on loan at the House of Yarn in Nashville, Tennessee. Meg was kind enough to purchase a lot of my overstock wool cotton, and she's put together, I don't know if she's put together kits for that one. I know she has kits of my other yarns for the Thalia shawl, and she has that sample as well. But she bought a bunch of the breezy, and so if you would like to feel that yarn for yourself, or feel the sample as it's been knit up and washed.
And you're in the Nashville area.
And you're in the Nashville area. That's where it is. That's where it is. I'll put a picture in here, but I'm going to show it and talk about it whenever I get it back, probably in September.
It turned out fantastic.
Yeah, really,
Robin wore it the day of the market, and there were tons of people who were interested in it. You see a lot of Tegnas, and I like yours the best.
I had a couple people who are Tegna twins. We took pictures together.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah. That's one of the things, because I don't knit. I'm not going to say I don't knit a lot of popular patterns, but the Tegna is so popular right now that there are so many people who knit it, and you're like, oh, that version's cool, and you see all the different
because
yarns and techniques. And
you chose not to do the sleeves on yours, which you said worked out really well for you. So some people did sleeves, some people didn't do sleeves, some people did longer sleeves. It's really cool.
Lengthen the body, shorten the body, different yarns.
Yeah, some people knit
smaller
sizes.
Yeah, very cool. So I'll put pictures in, but I'll talk about it in depth whenever I get the sample.
I like when people do mods, so it's not everybody's wearing exactly the same thing.
Yeah,
but you can it still references the pattern enough to where you know, hey,
you recognize
that's
the pattern.
Yeah.
So, do you have any works in progress?
I don't think so.
No. Okay.
Well, I'm trying to think. Yes, and I forgot it.
Would you like to pause?
I don't think I did whips for me. Yes. Can I pause?
We'll be right back.
Sorry about that.
So you got your one work in progress.
Yeah. I was telling Robin, what I do when I do show notes is I go and I copy and paste last episodes and then take out all the information that doesn't apply. And apparently last episode I did not have a work in progress because I just finished something. So I forgot to add myself in. I got your works in progress, but didn't add in mine.
Oops, that's okay. We got it now.
Go.
So I have 3, so I'll go first.
I have 1.
I have stabbity stab. Hang on.
So I started a second knitted knocker, but it's like maybe 3 rows, so I'm not counting that.
So this is my hoe, so I will do this one first. If you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen this one was finished late at night in a frenzy of ribbing.
That was so fun. I've got to finish this. I've got to finish this.
This is a Scylla sock, or the pattern is Scylla, Scylla, by Fiona Bennett. And it's my Dance Magic Dance colorway on my shimmer base. And I had wanted to finish this. I didn't think I would be able to, and then I was so close. I'm like, well, there's no excuse not to. So I wanted to finish it so I could have it as a booth sample for my booth in the marketplace.
Show it up Saturday, so people can see the texture on it. Look how beautiful that is.
It's a lot easier than it looks because everything lines up, so you know exactly what you're doing. Like I stopped referencing the pattern about here, so very easy. Again, this is the Dance Magic Dance colorway. That is a Labyrinth reference. I think I talked about it last week. But
and this is on your shimmer base.
It's on my shimmer base,
so it's sparkly like David Bowie.
So I'm trying to think. I didn't do a whole lot of modifications. I did do 70. I did it on a 0, which I almost never do.
Why'd you go down?
Because I grabbed the wrong needle size. Oh. And by the time I realized I was almost done with the toe, and I was on my way to Larry's house, and I'm like, I'm not gonna frog this entire thing and have nothing to knit, you know.
So you just increased your stitch
count. So I increased my stitch count. I don't remember.
And the fit?
The fit's good.
All right. Mm-hmm. It's not like those devil socks.
No. So these are, I think I used 75 stitches because you need a certain multiple plus a certain number. I'm not going to give it away because it's a paid pattern.
But yeah, a lot of stitch patterns are like that.
Yeah, also because you can't, I'm trying to see if you can see, these rows in between the longer slip stitches are also little slip stitches, so it pulls in at the instep.
The baby slips.
A little tiny, yeah. It's like an alternating thing.
Coolio. You just see the really long ones that stand out.
Yeah, the really long ones stand out, but the little slipped ones help break up some of the colors.
Just add some more interest.
Yeah. So I did finish the first sock in time for the marketplace, and I wove in the end right before we got started that day. And then I started the second one, but it's only a little bitty, what does Candace call them, a little mustache?
Yep, just tiny baby toe.
And I made a special progress keeper that I don't have with me, but it's a little peach. like from the movie, but it kind of looks like a booty, so I haven't been putting it on this project because I'm a little bit embarrassed by it.
It looks like that because that's what you call it. You don't call it a peach.
No, well, it's
become that to you.
It has. It needs like a little stem or something.
Yeah.
Or like a leaf. Yeah, but it's
booties
funny.
Don't have stems or leaves.
That's a fun fact brought to you by the Cherry Pulse podcast. So
at least ours don't.
Everybody is different.
I'm not judging.
So that's my sock. That's my work in progress. I almost had 2 hose, which counts as a finished object technically, but I didn't quite make it. But I'm glad I got this one done in time for the market. So I love this color so much. I thought about doing a full sweater out of it, and I'm still kind of debating if I want to or not. Maybe like something like a Madewell. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
You enjoyed knitting that.
I did. Should I go again?
You should go again.
I just
there it is.
Lobster claw just came off my thing. So this is my second sock work in progress, and this one I'm almost done with, and I thought I might finish it by the time we got home, but I hadn't.
Look how beautiful this is in the cake.
Oh, that's amazing. So this is from Stranded Dye Works. This is her Oasis base, which is her 7525, and the colorway is Flamingo Legs.
And that is exactly what it looks like.
It is amazing. People kept asking me what it was. So
and that's not one she brought to SSK.
She told me that's one of the ones she didn't bring with her because people kept asking me about it. But Rick of Whimsy Stitches actually picked this up for me at the marketplace last year. So
Rick
I figured
did a good job.
He did. Well, I gave him specific instructions. Not that I didn't trust him, but like I want this one on this base, so took the guesswork out of it. But I thought it was fitting to knit it this year, and I can't remember if I got to show Amy or not. It was really kind of crazy, especially on the market day.
We'll show her now.
But
okay, Amy.
But I love this pattern. The pattern is Monkey Socks by Cookie A. I'm doing the no purl version, and I am doing them toe up. The pattern is written for top down, and people always ask me, how do you convert it to toe up? I'm like, I don't. I just knit the chart.
Yeah. I
just knit the chart toe up, and it is reversed. Like, it looks different than if you knit it top down.
But it's still a great pattern.
Yeah. So that is kind of my go-to.
Now, you knit monkey socks once a year, but usually for your birthday.
I do.
So you knit them twice this year?
I am thinking, because this will be the 4th year, because it's traditional. I do monkey socks on my birthday every year, or for my birthday. It's like my birthday cast on, which is next month. So I don't know if I want to do another monkey sock so soon, because that's one I've knit 2 or 3 times also.
You do enjoy that, but then we'll have Socks in Space coming up later this year.
I could knit another one.
Okay.
I have
enough time has passed?
I'm thinking either.
Well, I'm just saying, enough time has passed for you to do them again, or you're going to find another space-related pattern?
I could find another space-related pattern.
Oh, okay.
I'm not married to the speckle space sock.
You're
but
not?
I'm not. But the
that
monkey
was my
sock.
son-in-law.
The monkey sock is fantastic. I love the monkey sock. I love it in this yarn. That is a little, people always want to know, the mozzarella stick is from Bunny and Toot, but I don't know if she does this one anymore. But it's an enjoyable knit, and it's very much intuitive for me in that I've knit so many of them.
You know how it's going.
I know what's going where, so easy peasy.
Mm-hmm.
You want to show yours?
Sure. So, I am knitting something I have knit once before.
The exact same thing.
Yes. So, last year I knit the Crossfire in Robin's yarn. The yarns are 3 a.m. on Bourbon Street and Albus.
Let's pull those out.
And I knit this fabulous pattern, and Robin has been using it as a booth sample since then. Let me get it all untangled. And I have decided I want mine back. So
you want your own shawl back?
I am knitting her one for her booth sample. So this is the exact same pattern that you saw last year. This is the Crossfire by Jennifer Dassow. And this is using 3 a.m. on Bourbon Street as the contrast color, and Albus as the neutral color. And as always, it is fabulous. I knit this during SSK. It is the best pattern for knitting something fun when you're talking to people at a retreat, anything like that. because it becomes very intuitive after a while. You know when you need to slip stitches, when you need to do stockinette, when you need to do garter. And I just absolutely love, love, love this pattern. So Robin will be getting this at some point to use as her boo sample, and I will be getting mine back, which I'm happy to do because someone almost put a hole in it this past weekend, and that would make me sad.
People can be a little rough with samples sometimes.
Well, someone wanted to take a picture of the pattern name, and she was showing the card to her friend, and her friend was sitting down, and instead of her friend getting up and moving closer to the card, she pulls the card way over to her friend, and the sample is pinned to Robin's grid wall. And I was afraid that the pins were going to put a hole in my shawl, which I was trying really hard not to jump out of my fur and grab this woman, but it's all good. No holes. So that's my only work in progress. I am still working on my sweater, but I don't have anything really major to show on that, so I'm just going to count this as the work in progress for this week.
I think this skein is a better representation of the colorway than the one that you have. It's the way that I've dyed it has kind of changed. It has a lot more of the reddy oranges than it does the yellows, kind of like your other.
The one that I chose was a bit of an off skein.
And not off, but most of them tend to have more of the reds.
And mine has more of the yellow in it.
It's
my original one does.
Yeah, it's one of those colorways that every skein looks a little bit different, but that's a little bit closer to the average. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Okay.
I get it.
Okay. So I have one more work in progress to share, and it's noisy, so I apologize for that. This is my Birds of a Feather shawl. This is a pattern by Andrea Mowry, and it's actually a lot bigger than I thought.
Yeah, look how
grown
beautiful
a lot.
that is. So I do see the lace section now. Ooh, that looks great.
It is knit with, this is Teenybutton Studio. This is my solo singles base, and the colorway is Ghost Tour. Ghost Tour. There we go. It's like a very pale, ethereal kind of purple-y speckled green. And then my contrast color, which is the mohair, it's a lace weight mohair, is Audubon. It's a pretty good color.
Right so there. This and this.
Yeah. So the pattern is written fantastically, but there are no charts for the lace section, which kills me, Andrea. Please.
Makes me happy.
Please.
I hate a chart.
It's not too difficult, but the lace repeat is the same, but the stitches on the edge change, and so it's easier mentally for me if I can see, like, visually, but it's still doable. It's just not the way I would do it myself. So this is what I have so far. So show it close if I can. But it's interesting because you don't change needle sizes, so the lace is just not the lace. The what is lace? It's the lace weight is just nice and open and airy with the mohair.
But it doesn't look as open because of the halo of the mohair.
Yeah, it's gonna block out fantastically. I'm so excited. So it's an enjoyable knit, and it's been so enjoyable that I've actually decided to do some kits in this Friday's update, which I will show towards the end of the episode. I will have this offering as a kit, both with this color mohair and with the purple mohair. But again, I'll show that at the end. But so far, it's a great knit. She has awesome patterns. I love her designs. It's kind of potato chippy, kind of mindless. Like, the rows are very similar, so you kind of know what increase you're doing here and what decrease you're doing here. And at one point, because it's almost like the Find Your Fade, where it comes to like a point and then it starts coming back up this way. So I know at that point it's going to change, but for right now, it's just kind of mindless. So I'm really enjoying that, especially for the mohair sections, because the mohair sections are all the same. So really enjoying that so far.
Good deal.
So that was my shawl that I had brought to work on while we were hanging out and chatting with people. So that was...
I mean, there's cat hair all over me.
Now you got mohair fuzz, too. So that is all my works in progress.
All right, coolio.
Yeah. So, okay, over there. At this point, we are going to go into a...
discussion of the trip to Denver.
Yes.
And the stores we visited.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of yarn. If that is not your thing, if the Throw Me Something Mr. Stash acquisitions segment is not your cup of tea, then...
Or if you don't want to know about Denver.
Yeah. I'll put a timestamp for SSK if you want to skip ahead to SSK. So, you want to summarize our Denver trip?
So, we vended at Houston Fiber Fest, came home, spent one day at home, and left the next day to go to Denver. We were there for a week, and it was Philip and Robin and I said has got summer school, and so she stayed home to watch the cats, watch the house, all that kind of fun stuff. So as soon as we got off the plane, we beelined it up to Fort Collins because we knew that was the last day that Loopy U would be open before their move, and we would not be there after their move. So that was our only day to hit the Loopy U. So we beelined it up to the Loopy U.
Did you separate yours by store?
No, I did not. I just separated mine by Denver and other.
Well, let's do, since you don't have to dig it out, let's just do the whole thing and then we'll show the yarn at the end. How's that sound?
Oh, sure. Okay.
So that was our first day in Fort Collins. Are we going to do the other stuff that we did, or just the pertinent yarn store information?
Just pertinent yarn store information.
All right. The next day we woke up. My dad went fly fishing, so we kind of had the morning and early afternoon to ourselves. So we stopped by a little store called My Sister Knits, also in Fort Collins.
Really cute store.
Very cute. It's it's a very residential area, and we pulled up and we're like, this is, a weird place for a yarn store to be, but it has a sign in the front. Yeah. So you go through the gate into the backyard, and she has chickens and like a little fairy garden, and then
beautiful backyard.
The store is in a carriage house in the back. So I'll put some video, and you'll be seeing video.
Adorable.
She had a lot of indies as well as Loopy U did. And it was a multi-store. It was very cozy. It was very cottagey sort of. They had a very nice aesthetic. So we picked up some yarn from there. And then
we got on the road, went to Boulder.
Yes, went to Boulder.
We stopped at, what was it?
Spindles, Shuttles, and Skeins.
Mm-hmm.
That was a little bit more commercial for us, but we did go in and just look around just because we like to see all the different stores.
Mm-hmm. We went to Estes Park. We weren't able to make the yarn store there just because of a rainy day and other things we had going on, and left Estes Park and went to Denver.
Yes. So the day we went to Denver, we drove down to Centennial, and we stopped at Colorful Yarns. Tiffany is super awesome. She is one of my stockists. She was actually my first official stockist, so it was very cool.
Fantastic store.
She must have 50 different indie dyers. If you're looking for indie dyed yarn, that is the place to find the best selection. She has a lot of
at least we know.
Yeah, she has a lot of international indie dyers, like people who don't live in the United States, so a lot of times it's hard to find their yarn here. So that's where I did the most damage. Is that where you did the most damage?
Probably.
Yeah. It was awesome. So she is super sweet. She was nice enough to give us recommendations for restaurants and things to do in Denver and in
very,
Centennial.
very sweet.
Yeah, so we made some purchases there. We saw her store dog, Daisy.
Yes.
And the store dog, Molly, was at My Sister Knits.
Mm-hmm,
we're a big fan of store dogs.
Oh, store dogs, store cats, winners to us.
And then the next day we visited Fancy Tiger Crafts in Denver. So you want to go ahead and go through our stash?
Sure. Go
ahead.
Okay.
So this is what I picked up at the Loopy U the first day. This is from Black Elephant UK. This is their Superwash Merino Singles base in the Blame Fox colorway, Fawkes. Ta-da! It's so cute. It's almost like confetti. Really like that one. And then I also got this skein of Ushatita. I bought a couple more at Colorful Yarns, and I'm going to use them together in a saturate shawl. But this one is on her Merino Singles base, and this one is called Lullaby. Pinks and grays with some of that orange. You want to do some?
Oh, sure.
Just do all of them?
No, you go ahead and do all yours.
Okay. From My Sister Knits, because the thing is I have less.
I don't remember all my stores.
I'm really good about storing useless information like that. Like, not that it's useless, but
I'm
good.
This came from Denver.
Yeah, I have a good memory for that sort of stuff, unfortunately, or fortunately, either way, This is from My Sister Knits. This is Colorful Eclectic Dye Works. This is her Enchanted sock base in the Tranquility colorway.
When we go out of town, we do try to get local dyers, and this is one of them.
Yeah, she's local. And she's super sweet. She's she's left some comments on my Instagram, which is very nice of her. And then I got Hugh Loco, who is another local California dyer. So
California?
Colorado. I was thinking Colorado. I was looking at the word Colorado, and I said California.
Just chose another city.
Yeah. Hand-dyed in Colorado. So Hugh Loco, this is her Merino DK, and the colorway is Peach Picking. I just thought that was gorgeous.
It is.
And then from Colorful Yarns, I actually got 2 skeins and a mini that I ended up using for my class with Kirsten Kapoor, her Trillium Mitts colorwork class that I didn't bring with me to show, which is unfortunate, but that's, I just forgot.
You can show those when you finish them.
I'll show them whenever I actually work on them. So this is from Colorful Yarns. This is Cat Sandwich, who is amazing. I love MJ. She's so nice. And this is her trusty sock base, which is a 75-25, and the colorway is Peppermint Toad. So that one, it's a Harry Potter reference, I believe. And then I got, oops, that fell on the floor. I got 3 more skeins of Ushatita. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm just sort of taking a shot in the dark. And I actually bought these for a fade, which I can't find the other ones for now.
Only because you're looking now.
Yeah, only because I'm looking.
They'll jump in your hand as soon as we stop podcasting.
So with the other skein of Lullaby, the skein of Feather that I bought at Brooklyn General in New York in December, and these 3, I'm going to do a Saturate Shawl by Orange Knits, Mara Catherine Briner.
I don't know.
I think that's her name. It's a big like half moon, half circle, and it has French.
Ooh.
French. So it's a fade. So that's, and it, she says it looks best if it goes from light to dark. I don't think I'm going to go quite from light to dark, but it goes from like pinks and purples to the purple, blue and orange, to the pink and orange, to the black and pink. Sort of. You'll see it whenever I work on it, trust me.
You have a plan.
So that is almost everything I got in Denver. I actually forgot about this. I got my first ever French field bag. This is from Fancy Tiger, and I kind of wasn't sure if I wanted one, and for a long time I'm like, it's kind of expensive for what it is, and it's, how good of a project bag can it be for the price, and I'm still not 100% sure that it's worth the price. I mean, obviously I paid the price because I have it.
You are enjoying it, though.
I do enjoy it. It's kind of like a cult. You're paying for the name, and I know that, but it's a good size. It has 3 skeins of yarn in there, no problem. It could probably fit up to 6 without starting to overfill.
The opening is really, really generous.
Yeah. I do like the handle, and I do like that it's kind of like a blank canvas. You can put your pens on it, and they say that it softens up as you use it, and it kind of like breaks in a little bit. So I'll be curious to see how that works. I'm glad that I bought it. I am enjoying using it. I'm just not entirely convinced that it's worth the hype. But that's okay.
It may be worth the hype. You're not sure if it's worth the price?
Yeah.
Or both?
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not complaining. I'm glad that I bought it. And I'll be curious to see how it works, how it wears, how it holds up. So, I did buy that. I'm kind of excited about it. I kind of feel like I'm a cool kid now, But it's a good size. It's very durable. It stands up, but it still squishes down well. So...
Yay.
Put all my pens on it.
All right.
Go.
So my turn. All right. So I do not remember which store I got what. So
I know what store you got what.
Okay. So the first one is a skein of Black Elephant. This is in the, I'm not sure exactly the base. Oh. The colorway is Sea Glass, and it's a sock weight.
I think that's from my sister knits.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. But I pretty much have to get it because it is an elephant. Mm-hmm. This is a UK yarn, not necessarily a Colorado yarn, but because it has an elephant on it, it jumped in my bag.
Had to have it.
Had to have it. This was also, I do remember this was also Colorful Yarn. This is a skein of Nerd Strings. She had a gorgeous setup as you walk into the store at Colorful Yarns of orange and pinks. Orange is not one of my favorite colors, but for some reason, when I see it with pink, I absolutely love orange. Mm-hmm. So I needed to get a skein to go with some pink I already have in my stash.
You already have pink in your stash? What?
Don't start. So this is 100% Superwash Merino 2-ply, and the colorway is Hot Damn.
Wow, that's a good colorway name.
Yes, and because I was still in my pink and orange mode, I bought a skein also off of that display. This is Scrumptious Pearl.
She's from Canada.
In her Stripe Me Up base, and this colorway is Sunset Boulevard.
It's cute.
So there you go.
Oh, and Nerd String is local, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Hand dyed with love in Colorado, not California.
So I also got a skein of Colorful Eclectic Fiberworks. So that would probably be my sister knits. And this is in her Bliss sock base. So it's her Blue Face Luster base, or BFL base. And the colorway is Zen.
I love that one.
So look how pretty that is.
Love.
All right, let's see. I tend to like to buy self-striping because I know Robin doesn't do self-striping.
No, Robin does not do self-striping.
So this is Two Sisters Yarn Company, and this is in their Big Sky base, which is 75-25, and the colorway is Make It Pop. So
that's cute.
It makes it pop. This is a skein of Artistic Yarns by Abby Grasso. And this is, I'm not sure exactly what her base is. It'll be in the show notes, but it is her self-striping, and the colorway is Bollywood. And you got this cute little stitch marker with it. That was at Colorful Yarns. This is Biscott Yarns. This is their Biz Sock base, and the colorway is Hallucination. And I believe this was Loopy U. I think so.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And
because I know they have it online.
And this is Fiber Nymph. And
I love that one the best.
This is the her bounce base, and the colorway is Doubletree. And I think this may have also been Loopy U. Not positive, I think.
Could have been.
So that is everything I think that I bought in Denver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had a good time.
God,
you
I
okay?
just took myself out with that stitch marker.
That's dangerous.
You heard it in my glasses?
Yeah, I heard it.
I'm good.
Wow.
Okay.
We had
Slow down with the yarn.
We had a good time in Denver. Definitely somewhere we'd like to go back. We saw a Colorado Rockies game. We went to the Rocky Mountain National Park. Dad went fly fishing, and we bought a lot of yarn. So all in all, it was a good trip.
It was an A+ trip.
Yeah. So now we're going to move on to SSK. We got back from Denver on the 3rd. Actually, like at 2 a.m. on the 3rd.
Yeah, that was, our plane was late coming into Denver, and so we were really, really late leaving.
Yeah. And we had a pretty crazy 2 weeks. We had family come and stay with us because they're looking at houses in the area. So that was about 5 days. And then Larry and I, our anniversary was on the 13th. And then on the 17th, we left for SSK. So it was kind of like a whirlwind.
It was crazy.
It was crazy. But I'm glad that it's over, but I had a lot of fun and did a lot of things. So.
I have always heard how wonderful SSK was. It wasn't really a retreat I ever thought I would be able to go to because it's so difficult to get into. And you got in because you were vending, and I got in because I just lucked out.
Yeah. The SSK stands for the Super Summer Knit Together. I've had a lot of people ask me that. It is a retreat put on by Leslie and Laura of the Knit Girls podcast. And it's so popular that you have to get in via lottery. So you apply, and then they use, I guess, random.org or random number generator to pick who gets in. So it is held at the Scarrett Bennett Center, which is...
that was so beautiful.
It is gorgeous. It's like a retreat center. It used to be, what they say, like a missionary college?
Some sort of religious college of some sort. I'm not sure what denomination.
Yeah.
But the grounds are just beautiful. A lot of people would refer to the dining hall as Hogwarts.
Mm-hmm. The whole thing. It's like...
Gothic arches and just fabulous.
Corridors and stonework and... very pretty, but it's kind of like dorm style accommodations. There's private bedrooms, and then you share a bathroom. Somebody asked me if they were air conditioned. They are air conditioned.
They are air conditioned.
And
unfortunately, Nashville outside was not.
No, Nashville was
so
very
hot.
warm. It's at least in Denver there were a couple of days where it was a little bit cooler,
but we're used to the heat. Yeah. Unfortunately.
So we left on Tuesday. We spent the night by the Nashville airport. And then Wednesday we did this event that they hold. They call it the 3-hour tour.
Yeah, Joe Sock Monster on Ravelry puts this together. She's amazing.
Mm-hmm. So basically it's like a yarn crawl. And then we stopped and ate lunch at the barbecue place. But
At least.
yeah, we Joe was nice enough to make a list of everybody who wanted to come, and then people who were local who were willing to drive, or people who came who were willing to drive, and then she paired people up into cars. So we were lucky enough to get paired with two wonderful ladies, Layla and Tia. Do we want to say rivalry names, or do we care about that?
Well, let's just not say rivalry names, because I don't know if they want to be called out.
Yeah, so we had an amazing time with them. They're both so funny and so interesting and so sweet. We went first to Craft South, and I didn't bring the stuff that I got from Craft South. I just got one little thing.
I forgot my pen, too.
Yeah, that's okay. We went to Craft South, and then we ate lunch at Edley's Barbecue, which was just a block or two away. And then we went to Bliss Yarns, which is in Brentwood. Brentwood?
I think it's Brentwood.
Yeah, if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. I'm sorry.
We don't know all the suburbs of Nashville, but it's in that area.
Yeah, but we'd been to Bliss last time we were in Nashville.
Yes.
And we also then went to House of Yarn, which is in Nashville. So we had a great time on the tour, and then we came back and we were able to check in. But basically the retreat, they do... they have icebreakers. They have big knitting areas where you can just sit and socialize with people. The cost of the retreat included all breakfasts and lunches for Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Well, yeah, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday morning.
Sunday morning. And then it included one class. The teachers this year, they had Kirsten Kapoor, they had Isabel Kramer, they had Laura Nelkin.
I can't remember everybody.
They had some spinning teachers and some weaving teachers that I don't know, because those aren't really my disciplines that I know a lot about.
But you took a class with
Kirsten Kapoor.
And I took a class with Isabel Kramer.
And I took the Stranded Colorwork class for the Trillium Mitts, and she was wonderful. She was a great teacher.
I love her patterns.
She's fantastic. And I know we kept saying Kristen. Some people kept saying Kristen, but it is Kirsten, so I apologize if she's watched. And I'm sure she gets that a lot. But she was very nice. She stopped by the booth on Saturday, and we had breakfast with her on Sunday, which was super cool.
Yeah,
she was in front of me at line, and I'm like, Mom, it's Kirsten Kapoor. She's right there. So that was really cool. But,
yeah, she came and sat with us.
Yeah, the classes were really interesting. Which class did you do?
I had set-in sleeves with Isabel Kramer, and that was a lot of fun. We had homework we had to do. My set-in sleeve wasn't my best work, but I'm going to take the notes that she gave me and do the second sleeve. But what was, for me anyway, the coolest part of the class was she brought all of these sweaters that she has knitted over the years, just to show everybody what the different sweater construction is. And a couple of hers had raglan sleeves, and a couple of them had the set-in sleeves. And then she had quite a few that had not been released yet. Mm-hmm. And it was so cool to be able to see these sweaters. She was also asking for suggestions for names and everything, and she was fantastic.
Yeah. She also tried,
what was it? Cracklins for the first time. That was one of the snacks.
She's from Germany, right?
Yeah. And that was one of the snacks one of the days. The Scarrett Benner Center did a lot of, everything was homemade there, and they did homemade potato chips that day, and they also did cracklins. And she was curious as to what that tasted like, and she was a real trooper. Yeah. She said it wasn't bad.
Yeah. They did breakout sessions as well. I didn't have time to do those. The one I really wanted to do, I forgot my drop spindle at home, and I didn't want to show up unprepared.
Yeah, and the breakout sessions were taught by attendees.
Yeah.
So, and then there was a stitch marker swap.
I
did that.
And then Friday night, they did 2 amazing events, and I was blown away.
Totally blown away. And incredible idea.
They did the tasting room on Thursday night, and they had 60 different types of needles.
Philip wanted to know, what did you eat?
You didn't quite get it. But you could play with the drum carders. Jo had set up her circular sock machine, and she was doing a demonstration on how she did that. They had this big sweater blocker thing.
Yeah.
That was really cool. You could play with the blending boards. And
probably then 20 different types of drop spindles.
Yeah. And then they had a whole room of nothing but needles.
And we're talking wooden needles, DPNs, brands I had never even heard of.
Dietcraft, Denise, Signature.
You name it, they have
the new Jimmy Beans ones that aren't released yet. They got some for us to try. They're very cool.
I have those on order, but I'd ordered those prior to, and I'm kind of glad I'm getting them now because I kind of liked them. They really remind me a lot of the zings.
Yeah, and that was amazing. They had little sheets where you could write down things you like and things you didn't like, just to give feedback on the different needle types. But they had tables and tables and tables and tables of needles, and I'll put some footage in.
It's cool because everybody has their favorite needle, but you know, sometimes you'll happen upon something that, you know, you didn't know that you needed. You know, and they had a lot of interchangeable sets and things like that. And, you know, you have your preference. You know, I like something that's metal, that's slick. I don't like anything that has any drag because I'm a tight knitter, and I like a point on it. Whereas some people, you know, they're a looser knitter.
I like wood.
And like you like wood, and some people like a blunt tip. So you could play with things to see, hey,
it was genius.
Do I want to change what I like, or maybe it's cemented that no, I'm right where I need to be.
Yeah. Friday night, they did the Try It On room.
Oh, gosh, that was so great.
So the way that they did it is that these are samples or finished objects that are brought in by the attendees. And if you brought, you know, whatever number, I didn't actually do it, and I wish I had. But if you brought finished objects in, then you got door price tickets. So that was the incentive.
I know shawls was limited to 5.
Yeah.
But I don't think anything else had a limit.
So they had an entire room of just sweaters and an entire room of just shawls.
Well, there were some cowls and and hats and things like that. But I mean, that sweater room was literally
packed.
Just sweaters, and there were hanging racks. I mean,
and they were organized by size, which was amazing. I was impressed by how well organized it was.
This isn't their first rodeo, but it's still
each sweater. Whenever you go to turn it in and get your door prize tickets, they give you a tag. It says your name, your Ravelry name, what size you knit, who the designer was, what the pattern name is, and what yarn you used. So all that information is right there on the tag. So if you try it on, you're like, oh, I really like this.
There's your information.
It was just so smart.
It's genius.
Yeah.
Absolute genius.
So,
that was the first night that T-Rex made an appearance.
Yes. One of the helpers, Gwen,
she's so funny.
What was the deal? They told her if she sold all the classes, they would get her the T-Rex costume.
She wanted a T-Rex costume, so they said if we sell out on all our classes, we'll get that. I think maybe they were thinking that they had set the bar too high. But no, Gwen made it work, and so on Friday,
she was in the try-it-on room in the T-Rex costume.
T-Rex was trying on sweaters and cowls.
Yeah, it was very cool. Did you took some video, right?
Yeah, I took some video, and I think it's on my Instagram. But I think we're gonna put it in the.
I can. Yeah, I'll see what I have.
And so yeah, if you took a selfie with T-Rex, you got tickets for that. So tickets for door prizes. So everybody was taking a selfie with T-Rex.
It was very fun.
Yeah, so it was, I mean, I spent a lot of this weekend going, wow, that's cool. Wow, that's a great idea.
You know, I'm not going to say our entire lives revolve around knitting, but a good portion of our lives is devoted to knitting. But there's always something new. Everybody's got, knowledge that you may not, perspectives. It's just being around your people is just so special, and it's
freeing in a way to be around people who get you and understand your passion and your love and why you think that this is an important thing to do and why you need to do this. And so, yeah, it was great.
It was amazing. So, Saturday night or Saturday morning and afternoon was the vendor market. So we set up Friday night. The morning from 10 to 12. Yeah, 10 to 12 was just for attendees only. And then from 1 to 4, they let in the general public for a small fee. I think it was $5.
Yep.
And we were lucky enough to be right on the very, right
inside the door.
Yeah, right inside the door. It was so funny because you could see people, looking through the door before the market started.
Yeah, they were cute.
Yeah, but
I would do that.
It was a lot of fun. We were right across from Miss Babs.
Well, it was great. Miss Babs was this way, and Tuft Woolens was this way. So no matter where we looked, and then in the distance on the other side of Miss Babs was Leading Men Fiber Art. So no matter where we looked, we saw some good stuff.
Yeah. We had Star Knits, who's a bag maker, next to us on this side, and Fiber Seed was across from us. I kept looking at Miss Babs, and I'm like, I am vending at the same show as Miss Babs. She is, they are right there. Right. I kept looking. I ended up, I was like, I'm not going to get any, I'm not going to get any yarn. And I kept looking at the Miss Babs. I'm like,
are you kidding me? You really thought that?
No, I was like, well, I'm not sure what I want from Miss Babs. And if I don't know exactly what I want, I'm not going to buy anything.
That wouldn't stop me.
No.
That would stop me.
No, but
you could always use a gradient kit.
Yes. So
when in doubt.
They had some amazing vendors. Rick of Whimsy Stitches, of course, was there. We said Erin of Rock and String, Amy of Stranded Dye Works, Leading Men, Fiber Seed. Amy Beth of the Fat Squirrel, I made a purchase from her.
Jerry Brock with her wonderful Turkish spindles.
Yeah.
Once Upon a Corgi, Junk Yarn, Ross Farms. Spotted Circus.
Knitterly Things.
Knitterly Things. Hip Strings.
Camel City Dye Works.
Camel City Dye Works. I'm trying to think. Is that everybody?
Tuft Woolens. Laura Nelkin had a booth for her designs.
That's true.
I think that's everybody.
I would feel horrible if we forgot someone.
Yeah.
If we did, I'm sorry. But I'm going like
Clockwise,
around.
yeah.
And I think
that's everybody.
I think that's everybody. Interesting. Because see, I'm going counterclockwise. I think that's a left-handed thing. And you're going clockwise.
So, we did do some damage at the market. Should we show now or keep going?
Sure. Oh, well, basically after that, we broke down.
Mm-hmm.
We hung out with people a little bit.
Closing ceremonies.
Joe, who led us on the 3-hour tour, is also a master songwriter. And so for the opening ceremony on Wednesday night, she had 2 original songs that she sang to us. The tune is a well-known songs, but she has changed lyrics, and then she had 2 more for the closing ceremony. With props.
Mm-hmm. So,
and door prizes were given out at the opening and closing ceremonies.
The amount of door prizes they had, like I know as a vendor you're expected to donate a door prize. It's part of the contractual obligation, but the amount of door prizes donated either by attendees or just by companies that they've contacted, local stores.
Crazy.
Like they must have had over 100 door prizes between.
I think it was more than that.
Maybe 150 door prizes between the 2 events, the two nights.
And then there were some additional door prizes if you wanted to make a donation to the Garrett Bennett Center. They do work around the community, just helping out different people in need. And so there were some special door prizes that if you made a donation, you would get tickets for that.
Yeah. So
Sunday morning, we ate breakfast.
With clear Stinkapore. That was super cool. I really like her design, so that was really neat.
And then you stopped by
House of Yarn. We dropped off some yarn at House of Yarn.
And hit the road.
And drove home. We got home not too late, 7 maybe.
Yep, just in time for 90
Just in time for our trashy TV show. So, I guess let's talk about the goodie bag. You have your goodie bag.
Yes, I have the bag that it came in, yeah.
So, these are the bags. And Laura said she picked the color out this year.
So on the front is the
logo.
And they said they tried to choose 4 sheep that were a little bit different to show the diversity of knitters. So
this one might be a yak.
Yeah, but one of them is, like an older grandma, and one is like a little, hip girl with some piercings and some tattoos, and just to show how we're all diverse, but we all share a similar love. So
inside the goodie bag, there was a little rainbow spool of highlighter tape that was really cool. There was a little Notions case.
That was great.
That was a genius idea because I kept forgetting my stuff.
Filled with great stuff.
Yeah.
There was a needle gauge.
A needle gauge, yeah.
A skein of yarn from Amy.
Oh, yeah, I'll show that. So this was the goodie bag yarn this year. And I have 2 skeins, and Mom has none because they are singles. So I will trade you something or pay you for it.
I am happy to pass on the singles.
So this was the goodie bag skein. This is by Amy of Stranded Dye Works, and it is her solo base. And they look a little bit different. I'm going to have to alternate or see if Rick will swap with me or something. Yeah. The colorway is 4224. I have no idea what that is reference to. Maybe I'm missing something.
I don't know.
Is that the address of the Garrett Bennett Center?
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
But it's gorgeous. It's like a minty sort of green with brown and green speckles. So that was the goodie bag yarn. You could also get fiber by Hip Strings. We didn't get fiber just because
I don't spin.
You don't spin. And I have more fiber than I'm ever going to use.
Not that it stopped you from buying more.
That's true. But I'm more likely to use the yarn quicker than I am to use the fiber.
Sure.
So that was the goodie bag yarn.
There were some other things in the goodie bag. I'm not going to remember everything, but it was really, really a nice assortment of
stitch markers.
Great things that we could all use.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So on the shopping day, they had, and this is genius. I don't know if this was for everybody or just the vendors. I know everybody got the shopping bag. So it's got the SSK logo on it. It has this drawstring thing. I have no idea what that's supposed to do, the silver thing.
Yeah, because it just draws up that one side.
I don't understand. If somebody could explain this to us, that would be awesome, because we're idiots.
Yeah, we're not getting it. But it's a really, really nice, generous bag that you can put lots and lots of goodies in. Some stuff in here.
But inside the ones that they gave the vendors, there was some Advil, some Tylenol,
a bottle of water,
mints, a bottle of water, and a snack. And that was...
They're so smart.
They thought of everything. So smart. So,
and then the attendees who came and shopped, they received a bag.
Yes.
And then when the general public was allowed to come in, I think they had bags for the first 100 people or so.
Yeah. I don't know if they had all the stuff in it or not.
No, they were just empty bags.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Yeah, they were just empty bags. But greatly appreciated.
Yeah, it's just the shopping bag. Like, DFW does that too. Like, having the shopping bag is just such a good idea. Because, you know, as a vendor, you know, I supply bags, but, you know, if somebody can just stick it all in there, it saves plastic, it saves, you know, just that little bit of...
A reusable bag can always be used again.
Whoa, what?
Yeah, leave it to me to point out the obvious, right?
So you want to go into purchases?
Sure.
Okay. I'm just, no particular order, but since we were talking about this, I did purchase this because I just said I don't need any more fiber. But
not that means anything.
It's just so pretty and fluffy and gorgeous. This is from Spotted Circus, who is Elizabeth. And it's her Big Top Bat Polworth Bamboo Firestar and Silk Noil. It's 4 ounces. So that's going to go into my big pile of fiber that I'm never, ever going to have time to spin.
That's so pretty spun up.
It's going to be gorgeous. It's got just a little bit of texture, and I'm trying to push myself out of my comfort zone of just spinning that tiny, tiny, tiny little single and then 3-plying it. I want to do some chunkier, more interesting spins. So that's to push me out of my comfort zone. And the benefit of this is that it leaves sparkle everywhere. Everything it touches now has sparkle on it.
I like sparkle.
So it's like an added bonus. It's like a fairy wand.
That's a good thing.
So you want to go?
No, you go ahead. Do all yours and I'll do all mine like we did last time.
So as far as purchases, I said I got some yarn from Miss Babs because she was right across from us and we kept staring at it all day. So this was actually my first purchase of the morning because I've been looking at it all day during setup and I had to have it. So this is her Miss Babs Gradient set. This is her Yummy 2-ply toes base, which is 100% superwash merino. And it's 6 mini skeins and it's 798 yards total. And the colorway of this set is called At the Bar. And I used to take ballet. I took ballet for 14 years. So maybe that's just the ballet student in me coming out. But those are the individual colors.
You're thinking about On the Spice Market with this?
I am going to make it On the Spice Market with this. Because that's what they were designed for. I think this is the exact yarn.
Nope, it's not.
Oh, it's not?
It's the exact yarn, not the exact color.
No, not the exact color.
Sorry. Yeah. It's exact yarn.
Yeah. So those are the colors. I'm not going to read them. You can read them yourself. But definitely On the Spice Market. I don't have any of this base, but I might just order like a single skein next time I do a base yarn order, just like a white. And I will probably over dye it, just maybe my Albus colorway, because if you use a white with some of these more saturated colors, they have a tendency to bleed if the yarn has not already been soaked and dyed and had a little bit of that color in it. It already has a little bit, so it tends to soak up like a sponge, the color next to it. So you want to have it lightly dyed with something, because that'll help.
Dry
pin and spritz, there's always that.
Yep, that's what I do.
So that was my first purchase from Miss Babs, and then I had to get her SSK colorway. So this is her Hot Shot base, which is an 80/20 merino nylon, and the colorway is Mountain Morning, developed for SSK 2018. And it's interesting because she had it on a bunch of different bases, and some of them were reskeined and some of them weren't, which I found very interesting.
Yeah.
This one has been reskeined, I think. Yeah.
It looks like it has.
Yeah, this one's been reskeined. But
so
it's just
it breaks all the colors up and changes the way the colors lie.
You get a better idea of how it's going to knit up. So that was what I got from Miss Babs. So next, I've been looking at Amy Beth's bags, and I know she does a SSK bag every year, but I didn't love the fabric she did for the SSK bag this year. But I did love this one. That way,
she did love.
I did love this one because it's got. These are like puppy fox things, and there's like a bunny thing with antennas, and there's a puppy dragon, and like a gecko, and like bunnies.
Flower girl.
Yeah, that's me. I'm dancing with all my little forest friends.
And that is a very generous size bag.
This is her Erin sweater size bag. Tia had one, but I think it was the smaller size, but she put everything in it. So I think I'm actually going to use this for a mitered square blanket.
Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah, there's a squirrel, there's a bunny with fingers. It's a freaky looking bunny.
Yeah. Almost looks like a human bunny.
Yeah, there's this little ghost bunny. I don't know what it is, but I love this design.
It's a really cool fabric.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like it. It's like a nice, heavy, like cotton,
it's like
canvas.
It's like canvas, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't actually look at the inside either. Oh, the inside's just like a cream. Okay. I didn't actually open it yet. But it has this nice handle on it, so it's like massive. But I love this bag. So I'm going to put all my stuff in it, in my mitered square blanket. So that was what I got from Amy Beth. And then what else did I get? Okay, I got these two. These are from Amy at Stranded Dye Works. This one I outright purchased. This is her Fjord.
Outright purchase.
Outright purchase. I didn't steal it. This is her Fjord base, which is her 80/20 BFL. And the colorway is Pigeon Fancier, which cracks me up.
I love that color.
It reminds me, because Sed and his friends and Shelby used to play the Hatoful Boyfriend game, which is like a dating sim with pigeons, and that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, it's kind of strange.
It's weird, but yeah, it's funny. And I just loved it. I think be a great contrast color, especially with the Miss Babs show color, and it's almost the same base. So
that'd be kind of cool.
We'll see. It could be a great crossfire, because this has the variegation and this has the tonality to it.
Yeah.
And then Amy came over to my booth again, and she was looking at my skeins, and I said, hey, do you want to do a swap? Because it was kind of, at the end of the day, it was kind of dying down a little bit. And so, it's died down whenever the vendors have time to shop each other's booths again. So I picked up this skein of her Oasis base, and this colorway is Yesterday's Bouquet. And it is gorgeous. This has been on my list to get for a while, and I got Oasis because I figured I could do socks or I could do a shawl because it's really soft. I think Amy picked out Cake Sniffers.
Yep, that's what you told me.
Yeah. And she asked the reference, and I said it's a series of unfortunate events. But it's not, like, super obvious, so I'm not sure if a lot of people get it, but it's pretty. I like it. I have a lot of it left, so I'll be putting them in the shop. But this is gorgeous. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it's super pretty.
You're going to pet it.
I'm going to pet it. So that is all that I purchased from the vendor market. I did get some Tuft woolens, which I'm not going to share just because it's over there and I didn't write it down. I got her Blueberry Lemonade sock soap, the Bergamot and Black Tea sock soap, and the 57th and 5th bath bar in a little soap deck. And they were super nice. They were right across from us. Martha and her husband, they were very nice. Yeah. This I picked up from the D-Stash night on Wednesday night. Partially because this is, or used to be, a international dyer, and now Molly's in the U.S. But at the time, it was a very hard to get, expensive to ship yarn. Not hard to get, but expensive to ship. And this is one of her Harry Potter colors that she doesn't dye. She doesn't repeat her Harry Potter colors, so I figured I'll go ahead and get it.
So it's a homespun house?
It is. This is a homespun house. And it is on her Soft Sock Merino 7525. This is the March 2018 club yarn called Sirius's Gift. And I'm trying to figure out the reference. And I'm either thinking it's either the Firebolt, which Sirius gives to Harry anonymously in Prisoner of Azkaban, or the mirror that he gives to Harry.
I'm guessing more the Firebolt.
Before he dies.
The mirror was a way for them to communicate. So I think the Firebolt was more of a gift.
Yeah. So, if anybody knows for sure what the reference for this one is, please let me know. I don't know if she includes a card or not with her club like I do. I know she does charms. Maybe the charm was like a little broomstick or something. I don't know. I'm just curious. I'm sure I could look it up on Ravelry. I might do that. But this was being de-stashed by somebody. They had another one. And I told myself, you don't need two because you're going to shop the market. You don't need extra yarn. So this is the one that I picked up. But I really like it because it's a nice, subtle sort of speckle. So I purchased that.
Very pretty. I forgot. You still owe me for that, too.
I do, yeah. I owe you for that.
She forgot her purse that night.
And I did. What
Luckily,
an
Mom
idiot.
had her purse.
What an idiot. I left my wallet in the room. I'm like, I'm not going to need to spend money. I'm like, stupid, you need to buy dinner.
I need $20.
You need $20 to buy yarn. Like, I don't know what I was thinking, honestly. I have no idea. This was actually super, super sweet. This was a gift from Erin at Rock and String. She handed me these two at the end of the show, and she told me I could keep one and I could pick one to give away on the podcast. So after much consideration, I think I'm going to keep the sparkle and let y'all have the one that's matchy-matchy divided.
For socks.
For socks. This one, the one that I'm keeping, is in her sachet base, which is her 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% sparkle. And the colorway for both of these is mermaids and narwhals. And then this one is on her 75-25 base, super sock, which is what I knit my other socks out of. So this will become a podcast prize. I don't know if we're going to do a separate giveaway or if we'll include it in a knit-along prize just yet. I got to think about it.
See it down the road.
Yeah, but you will have a chance to win this at some point in the future. So thank you, Erin. That was so sweet of you. And then are we doing these yet, or do you want to show what you bought?
What's this?
My door prize.
Oh, you can do your door prize.
So this, I was lucky enough to win a door prize. It was really funny because there were different things you could do to earn door prize tickets. And so for the people who did the knit-alongs, we didn't. But the people that did. Oh, I didn't. I didn't. The people who did the knit-alongs had extra tickets. You got tickets from the teachers. You got tickets for
taking a picture with T-Rex.
Taking a picture or
bringing things
for the try-it-on room. I didn't do a whole lot of that. I did win some extra tickets for my scratch-off.
I won 20 vendor bucks, which
that was awesome.
Threw at Miss Babs.
That's fantastic. Like, that's such a good idea. You got a scratch-off ticket. And it had either extra tickets, denominations of 10 vendor bucks. I think someone went up to 50.
Someone got a free SSK.
You get a free entry to SSK next year if you want to come. You don't have to do the lottery. You automatically get in.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody won a dinner with the teachers. And there were a couple of people who won some hand-spun yarn, which was super cool.
Yeah.
So I just won tickets, but the way they had it set up is they had all the door prizes laid out on the table as you came in, and you dropped your tickets into the bags in front of the door prize you want, so you could pick which door prizes you wanted to enter for, which is a super awesome way to do it.
That way you get something you want.
Yeah. I won this on the closing ceremony, and it was interesting because I had 45 tickets at that point, and I put maybe 35 of them into the flock fiber mini skein set, and then I put the rest of them, kind of sprinkled them here and there, and this one I'd only put 1 or 2 tickets in, but I ended up winning it, which is super fun.
What was also interesting is your donation.
Yeah, so this is Desert Vista Dye Works. This is her Viso base, and the colorway is Unicorn Frap, which is a reference to the Unicorn Frappuccino. And the door prize that I donated was my Unicorns in My Coffee colorway, which is the same colors and is also for the Unicorn Frappuccino.
Same reference.
So that was some karma.
Meant to be.
That was karma coming back.
There was a lot of interesting things that happened like that.
Yeah, so I was super excited to win a door prize. So that was awesome. You want to show what you bought?
Sure. So prior to SSK, I contacted our great friend Rick at Whimsy Stitches Designs, and I told him that I needed a sweater bag. And so I bought one of his jumbo size bags, and it's got a little sheepy on it, and it has a fabulous handle, and I pretty much used this as my bag during SSK because everybody else was using the green bag, and
you didn't want to get it mixed up.
Mary the Ding would have picked up somebody else's bag. So I used this pretty much the whole retreat, and it is fabulous. Rick has really pretty plaid fabric on the inside that matches my sheep, and there's a pocket, and it is a wonderful, wonderful bag.
Yeah.
He had smaller bags like this at the show. Then, let's see, let me get back here. God, I should have reached for this while you were talking.
You need me to get it?
But I'm not smart enough to do that.
That's not true. That's your good arm. Okay.
Yeah. So the first thing, like Robin, first thing that I purchased was some Miss Babs. I also bought a gradient set. This is also in her yummy 2-ply toes, and the colorway is Portal. So it's this really pretty
rainbow,
kind of a rainbowy, more of a pastel-y colorway. And I want to do the Color of Love shawl. It has enough yardage in it to do the shawl. I think the original calls for maybe 9 minis, but
I have the yardage.
Yeah, I have enough yardage. I'll just repeat some colors. So that was my first purchase at the show. Then I picked up, I forgot, before we before the show, I picked up some yarn at House of Yarn. I forgot about that.
This was on the 3-hour tour on
The
Wednesday.
3-hour tour. Robin didn't buy anything on the 3-hour tour.
I bought a pair of scissors and a pin.
Yeah. So I bought this from House of Yarn. So this is Knitted Wit in her Victory sock. And the colorway is Funfetti, which I thought was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also picked up a mini skein to do alternating heels and toes. And this is Old Rusted Chair. She was having a trunk show. And the colorway is Beachcomber.
It's a pretty color.
Yeah, it is. So that was prior to everything.
Pre-show, pre-retreat.
And let's see. I picked up a skein of self-striping from Rock and String Creations. This is one of her new colorways called Meow, which is based on some kitties, a calico cat. Can't wait to see that knit up.
She had a really cute sample. It kind of, some of them are spotted and some of them are solid.
And I cannot remember. I thought one of these I picked up in Denver, and one of these I bought at SSK. So this is Knitterly Things, and this is in her Vesper sock base. So they're both the same base. This one right here is called The Way It Goes.
I think this one's from Loopy U.
I think this one is from Loopy U.
Yeah.
And this one is Long Strange Trip. So there's Long Strange Trip. And I think this is the one that I bought at SSK.
Yeah.
So those are my Oh, and I forgot. I also bought from Hipstring Creations some of their needle gauge earrings. So
they're so cute.
One side is odd number needle sizes, and then the other earring is the even size needle gauge sizes. So yeah, so
they
if
have
I'm
a lot
ever,
of cute stuff.
If I'm ever at knit group and someone wants to know, hey, what size needle is this? I can just whip these puppies off and save the day.
There was stuff that I'm like, oh, I need to go look at that, and then I just didn't have time.
You don't have enough time. And I would have bought something from everybody. There was not a vendor there that didn't have fabulous stuff. Mm-hmm. It is a jury show, and they picked some great people to vend.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
They had a good variety. They had a good variety of bag makers and indie dyers and you know, bigger dyers like Miss Babs and the soap, the Tuft Woolens is not something you see at every show, so that was very cool to have.
And I got one at that new
the Bergamot and Black Tea.
The Bergamot and Black Tea. I got it on now. I bought that. That was like the second thing maybe I bought, and I put it on, and I spent like most of the show. People probably thought I was a creep. I was doing this.
I bought you a second rollerball for your birthday.
Well, I did. Towards the end of the thing, I'm like, you know, if you're looking for something, either for a stocking stuffer or my birthday or something like that, I wouldn't say no to that. Yeah. And so, I have some more coming.
Everybody was so nice. It was awesome. It was just so much fun.
Yeah, I can see why people do the ugly cry at the end because everybody was fabulous. There was a mother and daughter who came into the booth at one time, and we had some of the Cherry Purls pens that were set out, and the daughter took one, and later that evening, the mom came up to us and said that, you know, she explained to the daughter about how we were a mother-daughter podcast, and she wants to do that with her mom. And she also wants to have a yarn dyeing business and sell at yarn shows.
She's 10, so she might need to wait a little bit on that.
Yeah, but it was so cool to meet the people, listen to the different stories. We met so many people who watched the podcast, and it was just so neat to be able to put faces with names.
People want to take pictures with us. There were a couple of people who were like, can we take pictures with you? I'm like, heck yeah. Like, that's like, that's amazing.
I mean, we don't see ourselves as anybody other than just us. So
we're like low on the like we're not big podcasters. We're just people. We're just like
but we're fangirling on people.
Yeah,
so we get it. But it's just I don't know. It's just surprising to me that anybody might remotely be excited about me.
Yeah. So it was very cool. We saw a lot of people we met at Into the Wool.
Yes.
Cookville friends. Yes. Vicky and Daniela and. Just so
a lot of great people, and I can't say enough about the retreat. The last thing that right before we left the closing, our good friend Layla, who is the one who drove us around on the 3-hour tour.
She was also Fun fact, she was the winner of our 1,000 subscriber giveaway.
She was.
Totally random. We didn't know. I mean, I knew she lived in Tennessee, but I didn't know she was going to SSK. I didn't know she was, at the time, because we did the giveaway months and months ago.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But,
yeah, so she was there, and she surprised both of us with a special gift. And so I almost cried when I got this.
Yeah, it was some tears.
So I have some beautiful Doctor Who yarn. This is from Valkyrie Fibers. This is their matte sock, a part of their Doctor Who Valentine's 2017 in the colorway Alonzi.
That's a good name for a colorway.
Yeah. So now I have 2 Alonzis.
Mm-hmm.
And what did you get from Layla?
I got a skein of Woolen Vine yarns because apparently she must know that I'm a fan. I might have mentioned it once or twice. And this is in the Footsie base in the Goth Day Cake colorway. And I don't know if I mentioned this. Maybe she watched the podcast like that one time that I mentioned it, but I got cart jacked for this colorway the first time I tried to buy it. And so I've been looking for it on D-Stash ever since. And this was the one that she gifted me. And
I know.
It was so nice.
Yeah, both of us
was disgustingly nice.
Were
too nice.
Incredibly touched. So thank you, Layla.
Oh, it was so sweet. So we had the best time. We met so many amazing people.
I can't say enough about this retreat.
It was amazing. So we're definitely going to try to go back next year. I'm not 100% sure if, I might apply as a vendor. I don't know if I'll get in, but I will definitely enter the lottery if I don't get in as a vendor. But it was just...
I can understand why everybody talks so highly about
Everybody was nice and funny. I laughed my head off. It was hilarious. The T-Rex was killing me.
Yeah, Quinn.
But
she's a hoot.
We had the best time. So
Thank you. Thank you, Knit Girls.
Thank you. Yeah, it's definitely something that you should try to attend if it's in the budget. It is a little bit pricey. Not pricey for a retreat, but just, you know what I mean. It's not everybody's budget, yeah.
If it's something that you're able to do, we highly recommend it.
Yes,
for
that's
sure.
a really good way to phrase it. That's much better than what I said. But it was awesome. So that is going to conclude our massive stash enhancement. Throw me something, Mr. Segment. Do you have anything else you want to say?
Nope, I think I'm good.
Okay. At this point, I forgot something. At this point, we are going to move into the Teenybutton Studio shop update segment. So if that is not something that interests you, then please feel free to click away and enjoy the rest of your day or evening or whatever, whenever you're watching this. But if you do want to see what is going to be in Friday's shop update, then please stick around. So the next Teenybutton Studio shop update will be on Friday, July
27th.
Thank you. 27th. It's going to be at 5 p.m. Central Time, and it will be on the new website, teenybuttonstudio.com. I am going to show you the Birds of a Feather kits first. So I have 2 different kits with me right now, and one that's still drying, which I don't have.
Do you need me to hold anything?
I don't think. Yes.
Okay.
Please. This one. So the first kits I will have will be the ones I showed that I'm knitting mine out of. So this is Ghost Tour. And I have several of these kits on soft sock, and I have one of each on singles, because I know there are some people out there who love singles like I do. So with each of these, you have the option to pick if you want the purple mohair, which is Wisteria Walk, or the green mohair, which is Audubon. Oops. And as you have seen, I am knitting mine with the green. So that is the first option. The second option, this is one I've showed before. This is the main color a la mode, which has nice speckles of different colors, very dessert themed. And for this one, you can pick if you want strawberry tart mohair, brownie, or peach cobbler. So they're all dessert themed. I think.
So you want brownie a la mode, strawberry
tart
a la mode,
peach cobbler.
or peach cobbler a la mode.
Yeah, I think I would go with the strawberry if I was going to knit another one.
I think that would be beautiful.
I like the bright red, but you have the option.
It's a pop.
I will also have, for my people who love the owlery, I will have the owlery right now with Butterbeer, which is a yellow, and I think I may also be able to have some with Albus, which is a white, but I don't have those
in the mohair.
In the mohair, yeah, I have the Butterbeer drying right now, but it's not in a form that I can show you because it's still really wet. But just use your imagination. I will also have.
It'll be in the shop. You'll see it that way.
Yes, yeah, I will. And on Instagram, I'll post some pictures. I will also have the owlery on breezy sock, breezy fingering, not sock. I keep saying sock. It's a sock weight, but it's not really a sock yarn because it's 50-50 wool cotton. I wouldn't use it for socks.
Mm-mm.
And I will have it on soft sock as well.
Which is good for socks.
Which is good for socks, yes. Please knit socks out of soft sock. So just a little sampling of what else is going to be in the shop. I have St. Charles Streetcar. I have Dance Magic Dance. I knit my socks out of these. I have this on shimmer and on soft sock. This is my David Bowie Labyrinth colorway. I have Allons-y on Lush MCN, which is my Doctor Who colorway. I will also have a lot of MCN. I have Flying Horses on MCN. I have Chicory, which is a dark brown. I have Patisserie Party, which is a pink with speckles. I have Pawful Puff Skeins, which is a brighter pink with speckles. If I showed you everything, we'd be here all day because there's like 100-something skeins going into the shop. Dementor's Kiss on MCN and on soft sock. Butterbeer on MCN as well. So I also have Cake Sniffers.
Yeah, that's the colorway that Amy of Stranded chose.
Yeah. I think a sweater in this would be amazing.
Oh yeah,
like
that'd
a
be
little
pretty.
featherweight cardigan with the speckles. Yeah, awesome. And then premiering for the first time this year, this is my colorway from fall of last year called Sprinkle Spice Latte. So bright speckles, tans, browns, and that kind of spicy orangey color. So I have this on soft sock. I also have a couple different kinds of colors of mohair. I have rose gold mohair as well. I'm stealing some of your skeins. I have Audubon on soft sock and on Lush MCN. And I also still have a handful of the Titties for Kitties pre-order, which is the Tits Out Collective colorway, which goes to charity. So that's a summation of what you're going to find in the shop on Friday. There are already a couple of skeins, well, let's say a couple of skeins. There are already a good number of skeins in the shop right now if you want to go take a look before Friday. And then last but not least, I'm going to show July's Harry Potter Club colorway. Now those went out on the 16th because that was the 15th was a Sunday. So if you have not received your Harry Potter Club colorway for this month yet, I would suggest that you look away because I'm about to show it.
If you don't want to be spoiled.
If you don't want to be spoiled. So, ta-da! This one I have called Knitwit Ottoman Tweak. And it was actually a little bit of a deviation from what I normally do because the image that I posted is an image from Book 5 where Voldemort and Dumbledore have their big duel in the Ministry of Magic. But I didn't use that particular scene, but I used the colors from it from Dumbledore's half of the image. And then the quote that I used for the colorway name is from the first book, whenever Dumbledore does his beginning of term speech. And he says, I'd like to say a few words. And then he says a few words. He says, blubber, nitwit, ottoman, and tweak. And then Harry looks at Percy and he says something like, is he mad? And Percy's like, what are you talking about? He's the best wizard of his time. But yeah, he's a little bit mad. So I just thought that was a fun kind of uplifting, lighthearted quote to use. So these are on shimmer. The coordinating mini skein was a deeper kind of blue, close to this color, but a little bit warmer, just to give a little bit of contrast for heels and toes. So if you have not received it yet, you should receive it soon. And since this went out in July.
November?
Yes, it will go out in November. Go up in the shop for general sale in November. But if you would like to pre-order the August Club, then the August Club is up now, and it will be swapped out for the September Club on August 1st, as per usual. And again, if you've forgotten, if you'd ordered the 3-month subscription, as I've had a couple of people do duplicate orders, I'm happy to look that up for you. Please just send me an email, teenybuttonstudio@gmail.com. But other than that, I think that's all I have to share. I tried to keep the shop update section small because the rest of it was kind of heavy in the yarn this week, this episode.
It is what it is.
Yeah. So we hope you had a great time. I don't know where I'm going with that. I hope you enjoyed watching us.
Hope you have had a great time in your summer so far. It's been hot in a lot of places.
Yeah, it can only get cooler. There's that.
Yeah, but we still got to go through some more hot.
We have some August. August is coming. But we hope that you enjoyed watching us, and we can't wait to show you what we've knit next time. And we'll have some more to share with you in 2 weeks or so.
Yep, sounds good.
All right, sounds good. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Okay, ready. I'm ready now.
All right. Ready.
I can't spin, I can't fly, but I'm having the time of my life. Oh, see this girl, I knit like a machine, 'cause I am. Friday night Netflix is on, 'cause I know how to have fun. I got my drink beside me, lights are up real bright, I'm in the mood to knit. Any project could be the one, none of them are close to done. Maybe a little breach, maybe a little lace, I know what to do. I'll cast on something new, 'cause I am the knitting queen, young and sweet, only 17. It's called poetic license. If you're going to be that way, though, we'll do it like this. Young and sweet, not yet 17. Knitting queen, I even have a circular sock machine. I can spin, I can fly, but I'm having the time of my life. Oh, see this girl, I knit like a machine, 'cause I'm the knitting queen. Knitting queen. I'm the knitting queen.